Well, hi once again, everybody. Welcome into another awesome edition of Pick Your Politics. I'm your host, Dennis Silvers, and of course, this show is all about politics. We love talking about politics, as a lot of people do, fortunately, that watch the show. And, you know, we interview local politicians. We interview statewide, regional politicians. We interview national politicians, all in the hopes of talking about issues that are important not only to them, but to everybody that's all around. And we got a lot of very, very important issues to talk about. We're going to kind of be a little bit specific today with our guest, who's absolutely awesome. You're going to love her. If you've been following politics at all, especially if you are a Nevadan, you know this name very, very well. Let me give you a little bio on our special guest, Shelly Berkley. Shelly is currently the Senior Provost and CEO of Touro University, both here in Henderson as well as California. She has an extensive political background in Nevada, as well as being an attorney, obtaining her law degree from the University of San Diego School of Law in 1976. Shelly served in the Nevada Assembly from 1982 to 1984. In addition, she also served on the Nevada University and Community College System Board of Regents from 1990 to 1998, appointed vice chair. Shelly Berkley was elected to represent Nevada's first congressional district from 1999 to 2013, serving 7 terms as a member of the U.S. House of Representatives. The second woman elected to Congress from Nevada and the first Democrat elected to the first district, and I'm not mistaken, Shelley, I think it was Barbara Vukanovich.
That's exactly correct.
Was the very first one, a very, very sweet woman. In 2011, Shelley announced that she would run for U.S. Senate, and she was barely lost to incumbent Dean Heller. Shelley has very recently announced her candidacy to run for mayor of this great city of Las Vegas. She is married to Dr. Larry Lerner, who is a practicing nephrologist. And for those that you don't know who a nephrologist is, we're talking about your kidneys, okay? So it's been a great relationship. So Shelley, I'm so happy to have you here. We haven't seen each other for a few years, but I got to tell you, you look great. What's your secret?
Oh, thank you. Well, it's a combination of good genes and a good plastic surgeon. So, not necessarily in that order.
In that order. Hey, you got to do what you got to do. You know what I mean?
Amen to that.
Yeah. No, that is great. Let me start off and ask you this: What do you think will do you more good in your mayoral race? Mm-hmm. Being a prior assemblywoman here in Nevada or a U.S. Congresswoman, and why do you think that way?
Well, first of all, it's lovely to see you, and we haven't seen each other in a while, but it's nice to see you now, and thanks for asking me to come on.
Anytime.
Actually, that is a great question, and I've never been asked it before.
That's why I get the big bucks here on this show.
How much do I owe you? No, really. Actually, I think that all of my experiences in public service will serve me well as mayor of Las Vegas if I'm fortunate enough to win this election and the voters have enough confidence in me. But it goes back even further. I was student body secretary of Valley High School, student body president of UNLV. All of these experiences in public service have given me the background, experience, and knowledge that I think is necessary to serve the people of of the city of Las Vegas, the
Yeah.
great city of Las Vegas.
The great city of Las Vegas. And listen, if you're going to be mayor of some place, okay, you want to be mayor of Oklahoma City, I mean, that's fine. There's no other mayoral position than being the mayor of Las Vegas, the entertainment capital of the world. That's where it's at.
I agree with you 100%. And honestly, Dennis, I believe that the next 10 years, the city of Las Vegas is going to explode in a very positive way. And we were talking about how my family first got here 60
That was
years
my next
ago.
question. You came here from New York with your family.
Upstate New York.
You've been here a while, so you know this city. You know Southern Nevada, too. Why did you move here from New York? And you've been here for a long time, so like I say, you know the city inside and out.
I know the city very well, and as we were talking earlier, it's not that I grew up in Las Vegas. I grew up with Las Vegas.
Yeah.
When we first moved to town, there were only about 80,000 people in the entire Las Vegas Valley. We lived on the outskirts of town, which was Desert Inn and Maryland Parkway. And so Eastern Avenue was a two-lane street
my
at the
gosh.
time, and that was way far away. We first moved to the Boulevard Park Apartments. There was no boulevard across the street. So that's how long ago we got here. My father was a waiter when I was growing up in upstate New York,
Right.
was having trouble making a living. So as I told you earlier, one night he put my sister and I and the dog in the back seat of the car, parents in the front seat. Everything we owned was in a U-Haul hooked up to the back bumper, no air conditioning, drove across, they had the water bags in the front in case you overheated, which everybody did. And we drove out west on the old Route 66. My dad had the possibility of a job as a waiter in Southern California. We got to Hoover Dam, and the signs, Las Vegas 30 miles. And they thought, are we ever coming back east again? Maybe we should come and see Las Vegas for the night.
Right.
And again, parents seem so old, 31 and 34 at the time.
Wow.
And we went to Las Vegas for the night. And we never left.
Never left.
One of these days, we're going to unpack the U-Haul. I think we're staying. But
That's a great story.
that fall, or I guess the end of August, I started John C. Fremont Junior High School. Never looked back. Never looked back. And now I know, of course, that moving here was the best
great
thing my
decision.
parents could have ever done. Quite by serendipity. Wasn't meant to be, but this is what it was, and I'm very grateful for it.
Yeah, well, you've been an intimate part of Las Vegas and really all of the state for a long, long time. I'm sure, Shelly, as you know, there's going to be a lot of people jumping into the mayoral race, all with some differences in their background, both professionally and personally. What separates Shelly Berkley from all of the other people that are going to get into the race? Because you're going to hear a lot of the same thing.
Oh, absolutely. Look, I suspect you're absolutely right. There's going to be a rather substantial field running for this position because, as you know, Carolyn is termed out.
Right.
And after 25 years of dual service with Oscar, they're moving on. And so whoever takes their place has very large shoes to fill.
Yeah.
And, of course, I've been very good friends with the Goodmans for many decades now. But
She's done a good job.
I think they have both done a very good job, an excellent job, and they've worked hard. When I look at a public servant, and I believe public service is you serve the public doesn't serve you.
Right.
They have given 25 years of their life. It's a team effort. When he was mayor, she was by his side. When she's mayor, he's by her side. And I think they've really devoted themselves to the people of Las Vegas, and that's my philosophy in governing also. You make this commitment, people care about you, they vote for you.
Right.
Now your obligation is that you take care of them.
Right. Absolutely.
I believe it with all my heart. And what is the difference? And again, I'm not running against anybody. I'm running for mayor of Las
Right.
Vegas. I think the depth of my experience, my knowledge. When I first started in 1982, I was in my early 30s, and I pretended I knew what I was doing. Now I actually know what I'm doing. So I'd like to take all the experience I've had, and there are issues that I've been working on since the Nevada State Assembly days that I think will serve me well as the head of the most remarkable city on the planet.
And we are going to get specifically into some of those issues. By the way, as a side note, are you still in touch with some of the people in the Nevada Assembly and the U.S. Congress that you serve with?
Yes and no. Obviously, since I grew up, you can never escape your past. And when you're an adult in the town that you were a kid in, you can't change your identity, you can't hide.
Right.
Everybody knows me. And so, yes, I see people all the time that I went to junior high school with, high school with. I don't keep in touch with D.C. When I left, I left. And I came home, and this is where my family is. This is where my home is, and this is where my heart is. And so that when I see people, or occasionally someone gets in touch with me, it's lovely to catch up. But that's not who I am anymore.
Right.
And I'm not one of these people. I mean, you don't have to call me Congresswoman. I mean, these politicians that even they've been out of office 20 years, but they still insist on being called what they were.
I know.
I'm done with that. Right now, I'm running 2 medical schools, 2 universities, and that's where my passions have been, and that's where my energy has been for the last 10 years.
Let me jump the track here and ask you, how did you get involved with Toro?
You will understand this. Once you've been through a bruising battle like that, there's nothing left of you emotionally, physically, mentally. You're exhausted.
Yeah.
And so when I finally came home after my service, because after the election I went back to complete my term,
Right.
and so came back here in January, and I just sat on the couch trying to figure out what I was going to do. What do you do if you love public service but you don't have an office anymore? And a lot of offers came my way. They weren't a comfortable fit. I wanted something else. And then out of the blue, I got a call from somebody I hadn't seen in years from Touro University, New York, asking if I might be interested in the job. And I laughed. I said, I have no academic medical background at all. And being married to a doctor doesn't qualify you to run a medical school.
No.
And they knew that, and they still wanted to talk to me. And I spoke with them, and I didn't know if I would last a week, but that was 9.5 years ago, and it's been a wonderful fit for me, and I think it's been very good for both universities that I'm running as well.
And the one here, as I mentioned, in California as well. How many are there across the United States?
There are 34
Wow,
Touros.
seriously?
And it's not only the United States. There's one in Jerusalem, one in Berlin,
goodness.
one in Paris, and all the others are located in the United States.
I had no idea.
Yes, it's a very, very big system. I'm responsible for the 2 on the West Coast.
Right.
So this one here in Southern Nevada and the one in Northern California.
Wow, I had no idea.
Yes,
it
is a very, we're just about to open the first medical school in Montana will be a Touro University medical
darn.
school. And here in the Southern Nevada, we're the largest medical school in the state of Nevada.
Yeah.
And we are turning out 180 future doctors every single year. In addition to physician assistants, physical therapists, occupational therapists,
That's awesome.
nurses. There's a theme here. Who we graduate, we're educating the next generation of healthcare providers for the state of Nevada, and who we graduate are going to be taking care of us and our families for generations to come. So we're very proud of what we do and what we've accomplished.
Yeah, as you should be. All right, let me ask you this before we take our first very short break. Let's get into a few of the issues that are facing Las Vegas and Southern Nevada. Everybody is talking about the water issue.
Water issues.
As you know, shortage and possible solutions to the water problem. What's your plan for the city as far as conservation and for the needs of our businesses, like all of the properties up and down the strip? Because it's an important issue.
It is an important issue, and actually, when I was a vice president of government and legal affairs at the old Sands Hotel, we were working very closely with Pat Mulroy, who at that time was head of the Southern Nevada Water District.
Right.
And we do a remarkable job in Southern Nevada, so it's the entire Las Vegas Valley, in conserving water and using it to the best of our ability.
Right.
But to say that there isn't a crisis would be very misleading. The fact of the matter is we are in a very extensive drought. Global warming is a real thing. Whether we acknowledge it or not, we're running out of water. So there are a number of issues. We have to work with the lower 7 states, lower basin 7 states. I mean, everybody is consuming water. When there's a law, the Law of the River, signed in 1922 between Arizona, California, and Nevada. Wait, 1922, do you know how many people lived in Southern Nevada? Next to nothing.
I was going to say, not very many.
So obviously, the allocation here, Nevada got a very small share. Never could we have imagined, and this is pre-Hoover Dam, pre-Depression, pre-World War II, that we would be the bustling community, city, region that we are. But there's 2.5 million people in the Las Vegas Valley. I think in 1922 there were 8. I mean, there's not very many. So we're going to have to figure out, and we're doing a very good job right now, as best as we can do. But I'm a pro-growth person. I know if you don't grow, you stagnate.
Right.
And so there are going to be a lot of challenges over the next decade.
Yeah, there are, and it's a very, very important issue. All right, I'll tell you what, we're going to step away, take a very, very short break, and we come back. We're going to have more with our very special guest, mayoral candidate Shelly Berkley. So don't go away. We're back right after this.
Hello. You know me as Larry Klayman, the founder of both Judicial Watch and Freedom Watch. Do not be fooled by the Republican victory in the House of Representatives and in Congress. The fact is, nothing will change for the next 2 years. Joe Biden will continue to be the president or successor if he dies in office of natural causes. He will veto everything the Republicans want. He will not enforce the rule of law. No one will be held accountable. He will not be held accountable for the bribery from communist China, from Russia and Ukraine. We at Freedom Watch must do this. We are your Justice Department. Go to freedomwatchusa.org. Support our cause. We are currently trying Joe Biden for bribery and negligent homicide and others. We need your help. Please contribute to Freedom Watch at freedomwatchusa.org. And please get my book, It Takes a Counter-Revolution, Wake Up America, that you can also get there. God bless you and your family. God save America.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to more of Pick Your Politics. I'm your host, Dennis Silvers, having a great conversation with former U.S. Congresswoman and now mayoral candidate Shelly Berkley. Let's talk about business for the city of Las Vegas. What are some of your ideas to attract more business? Because you said you're pro-growth here. And to keep them here, are you up for like giving them incentives or what? Because obviously we want to have good business here, just like everywhere else.
Look, good business makes good labor.
Yeah.
And I actually sit on the Las Vegas Global Economic Alliance board. There's 50 board members, and our job, we are tasked with attracting new businesses to Southern Nevada. And I would say that we're doing very, very well. As you know, and we've been talking about this for generations now, that that we need to diversify our economy.
Yeah.
When
Oh,
I was
yeah.
in the Nevada State
Yeah.
Legislature 40 years ago, we were talking about that. We, as important as the gaming industry is to the well-being of the state of Nevada, particularly Southern Nevada,
Right.
the reality is we are stronger economically if we diversify.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been committed to doing this through the Las Vegas Global Economic Alliance now for a number of years, and fully appreciate the need to attract good-paying jobs to Southern Nevada. And that's exactly what we are doing and should continue to do.
Will you put equal effort in? This might seem like a silly question, but will you put equal effort in to attracting mom and pop businesses as opposed to
Absolutely.
really big businesses that could
Absolutely.
employ 500, 600 people?
A majority of the businesses in the state of Nevada, in Southern Nevada, are mom and pops that employ less than 25 employees. So it's the very backbone of who we are as a community. And I think I know I mentioned to you while we were talking earlier, my husband is a doctor, a kidney specialist, but he opened a barbecue restaurant in the middle of the pandemic. And so we are with employee shortages and the cost of food skyrocketing and running a business. So Larry sees patients during the day and he goes and busts his tables at night.
Oh, my
and I think
God.
after practicing medicine all this time, he kind of likes busting
It's kind
tables.
of a refreshing.
Yeah.
All right, let's give the obligatory cheap plug. Where is it and what's the name?
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
Oh, this is good. I wonder if my husband's watching. I hope so. L2 Texas Barbecue.
L2
On
Texas
Warm
Bar-
Springs
okay.
Road. It's for the old timers in town. It's the old Memphis Barbecue on Warm Springs. It's about a half a mile from Eastern
Got it.
Avenue. It's just the cutest little place, and get the brisket. It's delicious.
I love all barbecue. You know that. I will get the brisket. We over the months here during the midterm, I've had on all of the gubernatorial candidates and I've got to know some fairly well. I'm a good friend of our current governor and lieutenant governor, but I would ask them this, and it would be interesting to see how they responded, and I'm going to ask you the same thing. A growing problem here for both residents and tourists, Shelley, as you know, is the homeless problem, okay? What ideas do you have for getting that under control, if possible, to the best of your ability? Because it is becoming a problem. You see them on the boulevard, scaring tourists, scaring residents. I mean, it's a problem, and they answered in the sense, well, some it's a drug problem, it's a psychological problem. We need to do this, we need to do that. All well and good. All right. What are we going to do for the city of Las Vegas?
That actually, I thought that would be your number one question, because wherever I'm going, and now I'm meeting with a lot of business people, I went down to Catholic Charities. My family always feeds the homeless during the holidays, something we're very committed to. Went and visited the rescue mission the other day, because they're dealing with the homeless.
Right, every day.
And that is the number one issue. What do you do with a population? And there are, look, you've got a majority of the homeless are veterans that we did not give the appropriate counseling after they were cut loose. So they served our country very well. They come back. Where are the services for the vets? So they landed on the street. They've got a lot of issues, a lot of PTSD. That's a segment of the population that's living on the streets. There's also people that have genuine mental health issues because we never truly addressed this and provided. And I know even now with wherever I'm going, people are telling me that they're dealing with employees that are overly stressed and have mental health issues. So if you're on the edge already, what are you going to do? You're going to end up on the streets. There's also, with the economy, there's a segment of the population that find themselves homeless because there's no affordable housing.
Correct.
I mean, good luck finding an affordable house right now.
Yeah.
And so that's another segment. So where my solution, I can't give you one at this moment, but I'll tell you what, there are other cities throughout the country that are dealing well with their homeless population. We need to learn from them. We may not need to reinvent the wheel, but warehousing people or throwing them off the street and taking their last possessions is not only is it not humane, but it doesn't solve the problem.
Right.
It moves the problem.
Right.
And so we don't want to do that, but we want to make sure that our businesses are well protected,
Right.
that our citizens are well protected, and that we do what is appropriate and
Yeah.
humane for the homeless.
Yeah.
Now, sending everybody to what is it, Boyd Stadium? No. I mean, what are you going to do with a whole bunch of people in Boyd Stadium that are homeless? All you've done is move them so you don't have to look
Well,
at
right.
them. But that's not solving the problem.
Yeah, that's not so. It's a huge problem.
It's huge.
It's complex.
And everybody's talking about it.
And
That's the
everybody's
number
talking
one
about
issue.
it. Yeah,
Number one issue.
Exactly right. All right, here's another big problem, and it kind of ties into this. Let's talk about public safety.
Oh, yes.
You see it every day here on the news. What are your ideas about that? How does the mayor work with Metro and other law enforcement agencies? We have, of course, state police here in Southern Nevada. What are your ideas
Well,
on safety? That's extremely important to a lot of people.
Look, people need to feel safe in their homes, or need to feel safe if their child is walking from your house down the street to visit a neighbor, that they're actually going to get there. This is where also, I think my background and experience can be a tremendous help. I know Kevin McMahill, our new sheriff, very, very well, and I'll tell you how. We worked together. He was number 2 under a lot of different sheriffs that I worked with, and we worked well together when I was in Congress. But more importantly, Touro University received a very substantial grant from the Engelstad Foundation and Stephen Klubeck after October 1. And we have created a program where we are training, Touro University is training all 4,000 Metro officers that if, God forbid, something else happens, a major shooting or a horrible incident like that, which I hope never happens again, but I don't know whether everybody knows, but if you have an active shooting situation, medical personnel cannot come on site. And so there are times when the only people there are the first responders.
Right.
If they are trained to save lives and can do it quickly, within seconds, tourniquet, a compression, something to save the lives of the
That's
people that are
awesome.
suffering.
Awesome.
So that grant, again, from the Engelstad Foundation and Stephen Klubeck, we are training all 4,000. And now the other North Las Vegas, Henderson Police, they all want their people trained too.
That's
and
awesome.
then once we do that, and we're also training our students, they're med students or healthcare providers, if not med, something else, that if they are ever in not only active shooting, any type of crisis, they can save lives. And then what I'd like to do, if we get more grant money, is extend this to the schools so that people know. I don't think the solution is having every teacher with a gun. I mean, what I would like to see is, God forbid anything happens, that the teachers, the personnel at the schools can actually save lives if they're called upon to do that.
Yeah.
Touro University is doing that.
That is great. I had no idea, but my hats off to you. That's a fantastic idea.
The reason I mentioned that is when Kevin was number 2 under Sheriff Lombardo, he's the man I called because I had been working with him when I was in Congress, and together we put this together.
That's good for you. That's fantastic. As Las Vegas City Council, which you'd be involved in, of course, as the mayor, how closely do they work with the Clark County Commission? To what extent?
There's been some dissension between the two, between the commission and the council. But I am very good friends with most of the members of the county commission. I am sure we will work very well together and cooperatively, along with North Las Vegas. The former mayor, I was very good friends with John Lee.
Yeah, good guy.
He is a good guy, very good guy. And did a great job.
Yeah.
And now Pamela Goins is
Yeah.
just terrific too. So there are relationships that I've cultivated over the decades that I think will serve me well and
Yeah.
serve the people of Las Vegas as well.
We had him on a couple times on the show. He's a great guy. I was lucky enough, he asked me to MC a couple of his fundraisers and stuff like that.
Oh, that's great.
Which brings me to my last question, Miss Berkley. What are your plans going forward for fundraisers, for knocking on doors, for
yes.
town halls, for whatever you need to do to get elected?
Well, right now, Dennis, I have another, until June 30th, I'm still employed by Toro, and I will work until my contract is over. So I'm doing all the preliminary things right now and coming on the air and talking to people and meeting with business people and labor until then. But after, on July 1st is when I start full bore. It'll be expensive. Remember, we always had municipal elections. They were separate, and only about 20% of the population voted. Now, this mayoral election is the first time it's in November, and it's in a presidential year.
Right.
So this is a whole different type
thing.
of campaign, which I'm accustomed to.
Yeah. And you're pretty damn good at fundraising,
I
given your past track record.
Yes, yes.
elected
I
office.
consider it my social life. I mean, this is how I see people that I know and love forever. We talk, we catch up, and then they write me a check.
Yeah,
That's
all
not
right.
so bad.
That's not so bad,
And if you have that attitude, because fundraising is the thing candidates hate the most.
without a doubt.
I
it's
love it.
not easy.
No,
Asking
well,
people for money is not easy.
well, you were never with Jewish Federation, so that gave me a good experience. Look, you need the money. People believe in you.
Yeah.
That's how they demonstrate they believe in you, and then it's your responsibility to use their money wisely and win the election.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You know, I've had a number of people that have approached me about running for mayor, but I said no. My friend Shelly Berkley's in the race.
thank you.
I'm not butting heads with her. No, I'm
thank
only
you,
kidding.
Dennis.
You know,
Well, that's so
you know
sweet.
that. But anyway. All right, so listen for this young lady because she's going to be coming at you strong after she leaves the university. Shelly Berkley. It's going to be an interesting race. And I thank you for taking time out to come on the show.
It's
I know
great
you're
to
busy,
see
and
you.
we're going to have you on again, obviously.
I appreciate that, and it's great to see you.
Great to see you as well. All right, that's going to wrap it up for this edition of Pick Your Politics. We hope you enjoyed the show. And remember, the most important thing, no matter what race we're talking about, when push comes to shove, if you get a chance to vote, you got to get out and vote because that's the only way your voice is heard. So until then, we'll see you all next time. So long, everybody.